I am Jazzie Carrington, and this is my show, What's Hot with Jazzie. I'm introducing you to some of the hottest, most innovative people around the nation, from pop culture entertainment to people making a difference in your community and mine. So let's get started with What's Hot with Jazzie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to What's Hot with Jazzie. I'm your host, Jazzie Carrington. And today I am so excited. I have an amazing guest with me today. He is taking snapshots all over Atlanta with some of your favorites out there in the celebrity world and mine, as well as more. And he's going to sit down here and talk with us a little bit about his career today on What's Hot with Jazzie. He is the fabulous, amazing, professional photographer, cinematographer, Mr. Corey Reid.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Hi, Corey.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm so happy that you are sitting down here with me today.
Absolutely.
I actually came here to Atlanta just for you.
Love it. I appreciate it. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad. I hope we were able to create some images that
yes, because he just did my photo shoot, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, honey. And I am loving it. It was fabulous. So, Corey, one thing that's amazing to me, you have a very interesting story because you actually started out as a model.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the crazy part about it is, and when I always tell people, like, where I am in this industry right now, I never really saw, like, myself being into the industry at all because I played sports through college, full scholarship to play football.
Wow.
So my dream early on was to make it to the NFL. I did make it to the NFL, and when me and one of my good friends were like, you know what, if we don't make it to the league, you know, we worked out, we definitely thought we was the best thing smoking out there. So it was like, we'll be on the magazines and the billboards, that type of thing. So got involved in like some modeling, been on billboards in Times Square to print ads from BMW. And then 2006 came around, I bought a camera, not really even trying to be a photographer.
Wow.
And the bug just bit me. You know what I'm saying? 2 years later, I was able to leave my corporate job as an IT professional to pursue photography full time.
And here's what is so interesting because, like you said, you were on billboards in Times Square. You're modeling, you're like doing these ads for BMW. And then you went to being a tech guy. And then you were like, hey, photography, this is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Because my schooling was in IT. So as I was working along in that field, you know what I'm saying? Like when I stepped out, like I guess it makes sense with me having that tech brain with the cameras and the gadgets. 'Cause I'm definitely a gadget person now.
Yeah, you're great with the gadgets because I noticed that during our photo shoot. But you know, you are so amazing at what you do. You're so good. You've worked with people like K. Michelle, Rashida from Love and Hip Hop. You've worked with some magazines like Essence, Jet Magazine. I mean, what was that like? Because, I mean, when you decided to choose this career, you have really been having a great run. So what does that feel like?
I mean, it feels great. What I always tell people is that when you make up your mind you want to do something, you have to be willing to burn the bridges and you have to be willing to go all in. Because a lot of times people set goals for themselves and they say, just in case, I'll do this. But you got to be willing to say, hey, if this is what I want, am I willing to do the work that it's going to take to make that happen? So it's been a fun ride, being able to continue to climb. And now I'm like kind of in the next phase of, you know, from being the photographer to being able to teach other people to having multiple studios.
Yes. And I want to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely.
You have students, you're an educator in this, and you have like over 55,000 students.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Tell us something about that because I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. So it's crazy how one thing leads to another. And like I said, just being diligent and also being persistent in what it is I was trying to pursue. So in 2011, I decided, and it was really funny enough, it was really a slow time because sometimes you have the ebbs and flows as an entrepreneur. And in that time, I didn't just sit back on my laurels. I said, you know what, let me do something else. So I started creating tutorials for the photographers that wanted to learn. And crazy enough, fast forward 2015, I found out about a platform called Udemy, which is a digital platform where it's like different instructors from,
and it's called
Udemy.
You to me.
Yeah, Udemy.
Udemy.
Yep,
Okay, I
yep.
gotcha.
So it's all kind of different instructors, and I put courses on there. In 2015, I've got to check every single month since 2015.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. And you know, and it's crazy because with everything that we've experienced in these last 3-4 years, to see your career continue to soar and now you're really living your purpose and doing what you love.
Absolutely.
And you know, how does it feel? I know you say that you really want your clients to really be happy. And, you know, people say that. Right. But, you know, some people just try to get paid. Exactly. But you really are so great. And I can tell you really love this.
Absolutely.
So, you know, what's next on the agenda? Because I know you are a busy man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So with my the 2 studio spaces, so recently acquired a second space that I actually rent out. Because, you know, obviously with content studios being super popular, with people needing the opportunity to create without having an overhead. So I have a couple of content spaces that I'm continuing to build that out. Yeah. As well as I have in development a full virtual reality photography training platform that I'm actually putting together.
Oh wow! What is that going to be like?
So I can't give the full details just yet. But
I tell you, my guests, y'all always holding back. Y'all always holding back.
This is going to be some cutting edge, like a new way for people to be able to learn, like really real time in a way that is going to be crazy. Like it's almost like. Yeah. Just imagine, I'll just say this, like imagine like you wanted to be a photographer and regardless of what niche it is, whether you wanted to shoot lifestyle products, it being somebody that can actually personally walk you through that in pre-recorded trainings and you put a headset on and feel like you're right there in the room with that person.
Well, let me ask you, like most of your students, so is this something that they've chosen for a specific career? Because I know that a lot of people sometimes, you know, they treat photography sort of like a hobby. And so do you feel like a lot of the people that are coming to you, a lot of the students, that this is something they're looking for long term, a real career?
Absolutely. Because you have your different realms of people, for people that you got your people that just love taking photos, whether that's a cell phone, digital camera. And those people, they just dabbling. But then you have the people that have graduated from that phase where now that bug has bit them and now they want to figure out how to get paid for them. They probably have done a couple things for friends and cousins, that type of thing. They go, okay, I can get paid from this. Like now, how do I feel? And that was the crazy, that was the gap, because it's not really, from a business standpoint, it's not really a lot of content out there that's teaching people how to build a business. Like it's plenty of people that can tell you how to retouch. You know, most people are just asking about what kind of camera and the gear that you need. But it's like now, once you have the work, you have the camera, you have the skill, how do you put your work in front of the people that need your service? And that's really the lost art.
Well, let me ask you, because you've worked with some pretty big names and some pretty big spaces. So what did it take for you to get to that level? And for someone else who's looking to get to the level that you're at now, what does it take? Like, what do they need to do? What do they need to put in place to achieve that?
Absolutely. One of the first things I would tell people to do is to really try to narrow down the type of stuff and the type of content that you want to shoot.
Yes.
So because when you build that portfolio that represents the type of client that you want to attract, trust me, it will happen. And then ultimately once you have the work, having an actual marketing strategy. And once again, everything comes down to marketing and understand who is it that you want to work with. I can have the best work in the world. Yeah. But if nobody sees it, it's almost like if a tree falls in the forest, there's nobody there, it doesn't make a sound.
That's true.
You know
exactly.
So it's almost like you have to be able to put together to work, and then so now I have the work. Where do the people live at that can use my type of stuff? So for me, you know, coming from focusing on business building and branding type of photography, now I'm like, okay, what are the type of professions that I feel like I can help? Where are the people that are looking for these services?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm glad you said that, because one thing I've always wondered about photography and doing what you do, videography, cinematography, which a cinematography is used a lot in film. And do you think location makes a difference? Because you're here in Atlanta, which is a very booming place. But do you feel like, because, I'm from North Carolina, so
Yes.
a lot of the photography there, it's like wedding photographers, a little bit more local. But if you have people who are coming from small towns and small places like me, who are looking to be reach those type of people, even though they're marketing, do you feel like with a photographer doing that type of work, you have to change location also?
So it just depends too. What I will always suggest people to do is to go to Google and
Yeah.
just do a random search for photography in that area and try to see what type of searches come up. Because a lot of the times, when you search one thing, it'll say people also search this, and it'll
Right.
have a list of different things that people are searching for.
Right.
And another good indication of a niche that can possibly make you money is if people are running ads. Is it sponsored posts? For what are the sponsored posts in that particular area that people are running ads for? Because a lot of the times, if somebody is running ads for that service, then it's money to be made in that market.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of content creators coming to you?
So I do have like people within this space, like they're coming in. A lot of the people, they have businesses, or just some people are doing random birthday shoots, but a lot of people have businesses that they're building.
Yeah.
And they kind of come in and do the different lifestyle type of shots.
So where do you think social media plays a role in building something like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Social media can definitely be a free way to push out. Like for me, I'm like the worst person to talk to when it comes to posting because because
Oh, wow.
absolutely, just because like the work that I've done on my website, I get a lot of people like you that find me from doing a search.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So Google is king. If you get, SEO is a long-term process.
Yes.
Because once you're optimized for a certain term, people are searching for, and you getting that traffic organically, it kind of takes the place of having to like be out here posting 3-4 times a day or however many times you have to do that on social media. But in the event that you say, hey, you know what, I want to do this as like a slim budget, then guess what? Like that posting and being consistent on social media is definitely going to help you.
Yeah.
But once again, like things are changing so much as it pertains to like hot hashtags, like you can grab a trending audio and put some clips to it, and it's an opportunity to get seen by a lot of different people like that. So
yeah, well, I've always wondered too, because a lot of photographers who are at your level, they also what they call it, copyright their work. Like I've known celebrities that they're like, you're not supposed to use that. So I've never understood, because like I'll go take pictures from Google, whatever, but it's like they're like, check the copyrights. So how does that work?
Yeah, so depending on, because a lot of the times if I'm doing like a photo shoot for an individual, then basically I'm not gonna go print their stuff on a billboard, that type of stuff. It's understood that it's for their purpose to be able to promote their brand, so that's understood. But if I'm doing a shoot for Cream of Nature or Ambi Skincare, where I know, hey, up front, that fee is going to include my time for the shoot as well as the usage, how long they're going to use these images. So whether that's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or it could be a complete buyout.
So there is an actual time limit?
It could be. Yeah, you can have like a time limit, or they can just do a straight buyout where whatever that initial fee is going to cover for however long they want to use the images. But a lot of the times, even from a marketing standpoint, for front end talent, they'll have, like I've done stuff for Bell South back in the day, AT&T.
Oh, good Lord, Bell South, my Bell, that's old school.
Oh yeah, right. And they paid me for the shoot, and then they wanted to use it beyond that 1 year, and I got another check for another year. So yeah.
Really?
So
I am learning something new, because I didn't know it could get that deep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So Corey, you have to tell me, because you're here in Atlanta, and it's just a lot of things booming in Atlanta, a lot going on. So what is hot and next in the ATL for Corey Reed?
Listen, like I'm so under the radar. I'm like that person like that's like the introvert extrovert. So I'm extra when I have to be, but for the most part I can be in the house 7 days straight. And I don't have to see anybody. So I'm like, listen, I'm gonna have to go see you to Google and find out what's happening. because I do not be on the scene like that. And it's crazy. And I see a lot of people, some
Well, what's
industry
happening
people.
professionally?
Yeah.
I'll say that.
So it's definitely, I think it's a lot of tech conferences, and I think Atlanta, from an entrepreneur standpoint, really breathes to ground. Like, people are having a lot of success with being able to kind of push their businesses out and really have the opportunity to really level the playing field about, you know what I'm saying, like what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So once again, you really just have to be clear about what it is that you want to make happen, and make sure, like, obviously don't go, because I don't care how many people do the same thing as you, not one person can service every client that has a need.
Right.
So, but still making sure that it's a need for what it is that you do, that you're solving a problem, and then just kind of work from there.
I love it. I love it. Well, Corey Reese, you are the bomb.com.
I appreciate it.
And I have really enjoyed you. I've enjoyed our photo shoot and sitting down with you today. And thank you so much, because, I like you said, I Googled you and I saw, but then I really saw, God, this guy is fantastic. So when you contacted me and when we finally spoke, and I was like, hey, wouldn't you want to do What's Hot with Jazzie too? You're like, sure. And I love it. Thank you for being such a good sport and gracing me today and honoring us with your presence on What's Hot with Jazzie. You are truly hot and amazing.
I appreciate that.
And thank you. And thank you guys for watching another fantastic episode of What's Hot with Jazzie. And I'm your host, Jazzie Carrington. And until next time, I'm out.
Peace.